In life, you likely encounter many people and want to make an impression. So how can you influence those around you? How can you ensure that people respect your ideas and personality? In this video, I'm going to share some practical tips on how to influence others. Let's say you're heading to a job interview or a meeting. There are people around you and you're there looking your best. Your only goal is to present your ideas and impress them. Then someone asks you a question about a topic you're unfamiliar with, like artificial intelligence. They ask, "What do you think about AI?" And you have no clue. You start pretending, saying, "AI? Oh yeah, that's my area of expertise. I'm amazing at it." You try to hide your lack of knowledge, making yourself seem cooler than you are, but let me tell you something. Nobody is stupid. Even if they don't realize you're lying, people can sense something is off, some kind of inconsistency or insecurity. That's a risky move, and it can damage the interaction. So what should you do? Here's my advice. If you don't know something, admit it. People who are genuine win in every situation. The more sincere you are, the more authentic you are, the less you try to force it, the more people will think, "This guy doesn't know it, but he's reliable. This person knows their strengths, their weaknesses, the good and the bad." They think, "I can work with this guy, I can trust him, I can do business with him." So the more honest you are, the more likely you'll impress others. Do you want to be valued in this life? Most likely your answer is yes. But here's the thing, it's not just you who has this need. Everyone around you wants to feel valued. They want to feel important. But when you act like you're the only one with this need, you create serious communication and interaction problems. Imagine sitting with someone discussing a project or potential collaboration, or explaining your thesis to your professor. While the other person is talking, you're only thinking, "When's it my turn? I need to show my value and they need to recognize it." There's nothing wrong with having that need, but don't forget, the other person is waiting for the same thing. If you don't fulfill their need to feel valued, what will happen? Both sides will leave the interaction unsatisfied, and any potential collaboration or connection will suffer. So, what should you do? Sure, when it's your turn, present yourself as best as you can and meet your need for recognition. But when it's the other person's turn, give them your full attention. Don't get distracted by other things. Don't look at the ceiling or around the room while waiting for your turn. Pay attention to what the person is saying. Listen intently and ask curious questions like, "Why do you think that?" Or "What's your opinion on this?" You could even summarize what they've said at times. Say things like, "So you think this way?" Or "It seems you're a bit concerned about this." By approaching the conversation this way, the other person will feel valued and a meaningful interaction will develop. You'll be surprised by the outcome. It's only natural that from time to time you'll have disagreements when interacting with people. You can't and shouldn't always agree with everyone. But here's the thing, sometimes when you find yourself in a heated debate, you might feel the need to attack the other person, see only their flaws, and tear them down. But never forget, you may need that person later on. Even if you don't see eye to eye today, you might collaborate tomorrow. Don't slam the door on anyone. So what do? Our ancestors had a great saying, "Give credit where it's due." When you're debating with someone, even if you're on opposing sides, there's always something good and right about their perspective. You need to highlight those points during the debate. Doing so not only cools the tension, but also lets the other person know, we may disagree, but as people, we're still on the same side. That leaves the door open for future cooperation, and they'll respect you for it. Let me tell you a story. I once went to a restaurant with an older friend, and before we even ordered, he gave the waiter a tip. I was surprised because until that day, I thought tips were given after the meal. So, after the waiter left, I asked him why. He said, "What's the point of giving a tip afterward? The waiter has no idea what I'm going to tip him before the meal, but if I give it before, he'll feel grateful, and I'll get better service." And this taught me a valuable psychological lesson. When you do something nice for people before they even ask, they feel indebted to you. This makes them more likely to offer something in return or say yes when you ask for something. Experiments have been conducted on this, like the famous soda experiment. Two people were sitting in a waiting room. One person goes to get a soda for themselves and grabs an extra one for the person sitting next to them, saying, "Here, I got this for you." Later they ask, "Would you like to buy a $5 charity raffle ticket?" Half the people say yes. But when no soda is offered first, only 10 to 15% say yes. So when you do something nice before someone asks, it becomes much easier to influence them later. However, while being kind and helpful is great, there's an important point to remember. Boundaries. Not everyone has good intentions, and some people may try to take advantage of your kindness. If you keep giving without limits, people will start to see what you offer as less valuable, because it's so easy to get. No matter how hard you work, how much you sacrifice, or how valuable what you offer is, if it's given too freely, people will see it as worthless. There's an automatic rule in people's minds. Easy things are less valuable. So what should you do? Be kind to people, but make sure they know you have limits, that you have character, and that nothing comes without a price. This way, people will value what you offer and respect you. How do you do this? Learn to say no sometimes, especially when something doesn't sit right with you. If you always say yes, people may start taking advantage of you, and what you bring to the table won't be appreciated. So don't be afraid to say no when necessary. What do you do to influence others, build strong relationships, or create positive interactions? Share your thoughts in the comments so others can benefit. Thanks for listening, good person. Take care of yourself. See you soon.